It's now 5 o'clock, and I will call the meeting to order. And first item of business, I'll ask Erin Walsh to do the roll call, please.
Absolutely. Committee Member Coughlin.
Present.
Committee Member Du Bois.
Present.
Committee Member Fisher.
Present.
Committee Member Holland.
Present.
Committee Member Kamasu.
Present.
Committee Member Herr. Let the record show that Committee Member Herr is absent, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Vice Chair Du Bois.
Thank you. All right, the first item on our regular agenda this evening will be the approval of, or consideration for approval of the minutes from November 18. I believe that the minutes have been circulated in advance of the meeting, so the chair will entertain a motion at this time to approve those minutes unless there are questions.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the minutes of the August 22nd, 2024 meeting.
I'll second.
Second? All right. Motion has been moved and seconded, and so at this time we'll call on the committee members to vote for approval or disapproval of the minutes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Being no opposed, the minutes are hereby approved. And the next item on our agenda will be the nomination and election of a chair and a vice chair for the upcoming year. And for that, again, I'll ask Erin to run that, please.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vice Chair Du Bois. I would like to take a few minutes to, first of all, thank Chair McCart, who has served for the last year as our chairman. Her term did end earlier this month in March, so unfortunately, due to rescheduling, she missed her last meeting, which is why Vice Chair Du Bois is running our meeting today. But we do want to thank her for all of her service to the city and her participation in 3 years on this committee. I would also like to welcome James Davis, who is with us here today, but not quite yet participating, who is our newly named Citizens Bond Oversight Committee member and will be up on the dais with you at your next meeting in May. We do have a few other new faces sitting over here I wanted to introduce before the meeting got started. The city has a new budget director. His name is Scottsdale, and he will be doing a presentation here. We're working on getting everybody new name tags. And then also Kimberly Campbell, who has served as our legal representative for a number of years, is also no longer with us. And at the end of the table there, we have Shane Anderson, who will be taking, Shane Morrison, who will be taking over as our legal counsel for the committee. So a few new faces. Wanted to introduce them in case questions came up that need to be thrown in their direction before we get to their specific items. And with that, we do elect a new chair and vice chair every year at our first meeting, and we are a little delayed this March, but this is our first meeting of 2025. So with that, I will take nominations for our committee chair. Yes, Committee Member Fisher.
Aaron, I'd like to nominate Joe Du Bois for chair.
All right, I hear a nomination for our Vice Chair Du Bois. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, from Committee Member Coughlin, we'll go ahead and call the question. Can we have a vote, please? All in favor of confirming Vice Chair Du Bois as our new committee chairman, please say aye.
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 All right, and it passes. Congratulations. Now I will say Chair Du Bois. And with that, I will turn the meeting back over to you, and we need to do the election for a vice chair.
Thank you. With that item passed, we'll now move to the election of a vice chair. And for that purpose, the chair will entertain motions or a nomination at this point. Any nomination for the vice chair?
Mr. Chairman, I'd nominate Brian Coughlin for that position.
The nomination of Brian Coughlin has been made. Is there a second?
I second.
Moved and seconded. At this point, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of Brian Coughlin becoming the vice chair of the committee, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right. The election is unanimous, so Brian, congratulations as our new vice chair for the year. All right, the next item, item number 3 on the regular agenda is the presentation, discussion, and approval of our committee bylaws. And for that, I will defer to Shane Morrison, our Assistant City Attorney. If you can give us the presentation for that, please.
Thank you, Chair Du Bois. I don't have a formal PowerPoint this evening, but we do have the bylaws up on the screen. As in years past, these bylaws are verbatim from the previous year's version, so there have not been any substantive changes other than simply replacing my signature line for that of Ms. Campbell, who's no longer with us.
Are any questions from the committee members on the bylaws as presented? All right, if not, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the bylaws.
I'll motion it.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded that we accept and approve the bylaws as presented. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? All right, therefore, the bylaws are now approved for our coming year. Thank you, Shane.
Chair Du Bois?
Yes.
I would like to make a note that I do have a copy of the bylaws here that we need you to sign after the meeting.
Thank you. All right, moving to item number 4, entitled Presentation, Discussion, and Approval of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee 2024 Annual Report. And for that, I will call on Aaron Walsh.
Thank you, Chair Du Bois. This is another routine item for our first meeting of the year. This form probably looks familiar to a lot of you. This is something that all of our boards and commissions fill out and forward to the City Council every year. It does have a record of who attended what meeting, the major issues that we dealt with, and what we're doing looking forward to next year. If there are any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Any questions?
We do need to vote to approve them, yes.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the committee annual report. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded that the committee accept the presentation, discussion, and presentation of the Bond Oversight Committee annual report, accepted as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, the annual report is thereby accepted and approved. Number 5 on our regular agenda is an update on the Bond 2019 program, including question 1, Parks, Recreation, and Senior Services. Question number 2, Community Spaces and Infrastructure. And question 3, Public Safety and Technology. And for that, I would call on Allison Timko, the city engineer.
Good evening, thank you. So this is a current overview of the Bond 2019 program. Always do it the wrong way. Okay, again, the bond questions. The first question is Parks, Recreation, and Senior Services. The second question is Community Spaces and Infrastructure. The third question is Public Safety and Information Technology. And this slide here represents a summary of the current FY 24-25 projects and just a brief status. The first project is add the splash pad and improve walkways at McCormick-Stillman Railroad Park. That is currently being constructed with a non-bond project, which is the McCormick-Stillman Roundhouse project, and they are on target to be completed this summer. The second project is expand Granite Reef Senior Center to meet demand for adult daycare. That construction funding has been moved to FY 26-27. The third is expand Via Linda Senior Center to meet demand for senior services. We are currently initiating that design contract. You'll note here previous comments from one of the committee members was that it would be helpful to highlight the statuses that have changed from the previous meeting. And so what I did here was the ones that have changed from the previous meeting are indicated in yellow. So you see this one says initiating design contract. So that's a change from the previous meeting. Install solar heating systems for El Dorado Pool. We are currently evaluating concepts for that project. We have a couple of solar projects that are currently under evaluation. The other two, I think, are in the second question. And we are planning to bring to you at the next meeting in May possible scope changes to a couple of those projects for your consideration and possible recommendation to City Council. And the primary reason for that, and we'll go over it next meeting, but we just have limited funding, and so we've been trying to actually design the project to the funding. So you'll hear more about that. Add a dog park to Thompson Peak Park. That construction is a plan to start later this year. Build multi-use fields in the area of Bell Road. This is these are the two sports complex. One was at Bell 94, and this was the second one, which was the Riata Wash Sports Complex. And both sports complexes are open, and we've been using them, but we just have some minor work that's remaining on the second park that's not preventing us from using the park, but we just had to do some minor pump station work, which I think actually might have just occurred in the last week, so we should be closing this project out soon. And then the next project is build a 17-acre park at Asher Hills Drive and 74th Way. This park opened in February, and we had a ribbon cutting last month, and I have a few photos of the finished park. And then the final one is purchase land, expand Pinnacle Peak Park, parking lot, staff office, restrooms, renovate hiking trail, and construct an interpretive trail. This project is relying on Arizona state land, so we are waiting for them to auction the part of the land that we need. But in the meantime, we are going to undertake a conceptual design on this project. Here are some pictures of the newly constructed Asher Hills Park. It's now our northernmost neighborhood park in Scottsdale. And we have some covered playgrounds, there's a restroom building, there's some walking trails, there are the 8 pickleball courts, and there's a basketball court as well. And then this is the implementation schedule for question 1, and this shows the current projects that are either in design or construction in 2024-25, and then the projects that are further out that are slated for future years. This is question 2, the projects in question 2 for fiscal year 24-25. The first project is build the 200 space parking lot off 75th Street to serve the City Court and Scottsdale Stadium. There has been an update to this project since these slides were created. We were planning to construct this project over the summer with the next phase of the stadium project, but that project has been delayed, so we will likely be doing it next summer at this time. Build roadway pedestrian improvements along 2nd Street. This project is one that's on hold for future evaluation. Repair lakes and irrigation at Vista del Camino Park in the Indian Bend Wash. The construction is progressing on this project. We, City Council authorized GMP, Guaranteed Maximum Price, number 3, back in November, and we had been waiting for Army Corps of Engineer approval, which we just received, so we will start construction on that phase coming up shortly. The next project is renovate barns to increase rentable space. We just recently finished another barn, so 7 barns are complete to date. And then the next 2 projects are the 2 additional solar projects that I had mentioned. And the final project is build parking structures in Old Town Scottsdale. And the design and pre-construction contract was awarded by City Council last month in February for that project. So we will begin design on that. Here are some pictures of the Indian Bend Wash Lakes project. It's repairing irrigation in lakes throughout the Indian Bend Wash at El Dorado and Vista del Camino. And the next phase, this is just some of the lateral irrigation work that's underway. And the next phase will be installing the irrigation pump station. This is question 2, the implementation schedule for question 2. Again, it lists the projects that are currently active in 24-25, either in design or construction, and then it shows the proposed schedule for the next 5 years.
Allison, before you move on item number 15, on question number 2, you said that that's on hold or it's been delayed. Is that the one that we're building with the Giants? Did they ask for the delay, or is it, why is it delayed?
Vice Chair DuBois, that project, the stadium project, required some additional funding, so we will be bringing that forward through the budget process next fiscal year.
Thank you.
Okay, these are the projects in question 3 for FY 24-25. There's 2 pages of projects. The first few are the IT-related projects. The first one on the list here was modernize computer equipment rooms to protect city servers. They're in the final stages of that, which is actually replacing the HVAC. Replace outdated 911 computer-aided dispatch and record management to improve efficiency. So the RMS was replaced back in November of 2022, and the new update for this is that the CAD, the computer-aided dispatch, was successfully launched just earlier this month, and they're continuing to work through post-launch punch list items over the next 60 to 90 days. So this project will soon be closed out as well. Install fiber optic infrastructure to reduce operating costs. This project is multiple locations in design and construction. Update Scottsdale's 15-year-old digital terrain model. This project was eliminated, so at the next update, I will have this removed from this slide. The next item is replace obsolete planning and permitting software. We are continuing to work with the vendor to configure the new system, begin validation of initial configuration elements. So we're working with the vendor on that project. Obtain a citywide data management and analytics solution for database decision-making. They're finalizing the architectural requirements for that system. Build a new fire station near Hayden and Loop 101 to improve response times. This construction began in May of 2024, and it is currently scheduled to be completed this summer. And then we have replace the deteriorated vehicle training track at the police and fire training facility, the modernize and expand the police and fire training facility, and then build a new fire department training facility, 3 projects. The fire training facility project is complete. The police training facility construction is nearing completion, and the training track project, it was determined during the design and construction of the training facility at its current location that there wasn't the appropriate space for the vehicle training track at that location. So we've located a new space up north of the 101 on city-owned property that's just south of the water campus, and we are working through some Arizona state land purchase to be able to redesign the project at that location. Oh, sorry. I don't know what I did. Oh, here we go. This is some photos of the new training facility that's complete, the fire training facility. The construction was completed in November, and in January, we were able to start our first class of new recruits doing their training at that facility. Just some more pictures of the site. A picture of the training facility from the rear, and then a picture from the inside. And then this is the implementation schedule for question 3. Again, showing the current projects that are currently under design or construction, and then the schedule going forward in the next couple of fiscal years for those projects. And then our completed bond projects, we have 3 projects complete in question 1. We have 6 projects complete in question 2. And then we have several projects complete in question 3. And then again, we did have that one project that we had eliminated, which was the digital terrain model. And with that, I can take any questions.
Any questions? Yes, Member Komisu?
Concerning, I guess, item 12, what was the rationale for that project to be eliminated, the digital terrain model?
Committee Member Kamasu, that project, it was determined that they were able to get the USGS data and it would meet our needs.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Member Fisher?
Allison, not so much a question as to just a comment. So the Ashland Hills Park is close to my house, and so I've been watching that project all along. And it's kind of interesting being on the board here and, you know, seeing things as they're moving along and coming up and the money being spent. This one just turned out fabulous. I just wanted to let you know that, and I hope you can pass that on to the staff involved. You know, there are kids playing in the play area. Go out there sometime. There are seats and tables for people to relax. I was out there Sunday, 8 pickleball courts. They were all busy. And I understand a member Kamasu may take up pickleball, and he's gotten a lesson. He's not sold yet. There's, you know, I'll tell you, it's got some workout equipment on there that I may use this summer. It's really nice. That park is just great. It's a real jewel.
Thank you, that's great to hear.
Yes, Member Holland, do you have a question?
Can you tell me the location of the training facility?
Our training facility is actually located in the city of Tempe.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
All right. Oh, another question, Member Coughlin?
I had a question on question 1, number 13, the expanding the Granite Reef Senior Center. Was that delayed from, was that originally 25-26, pushed out to 26-27? And if so, what was the reason for that?
Committee Member Coughlin, yeah, that's correct. And actually, a large part of that was just workload of staff.
Thank you.
And for sake of clarity, fiscal year 25-26 will begin in July.
That's correct, July 1.
So when we see the projects that are 26-27, that's really another year away for those projects.
That's correct.
Thank you. All right, I don't believe that requires any action from the committee, so thank you, Allison, for the presentation. We'll move to item number 6, presentation, discussion, and possible action on the Bond 2019 financial report. And for that, Scott, if you would make the presentation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. By way of introduction, my name is Scott Saline, City Budget Director. I'm very happy to be here today to discuss the financial update for the 2019 bond program. And just for your information, the figures here are updated through February 28th, 2025. So, oh, I get to control. Okay, great. There we go. So what you're looking at right here, as you know, the approved Bond 2019 program is a $319 million program. There are 3 questions that include 58 projects. Out of these 58, I believe 18 have been completed so far. And I scrolled the wheel too fast. I'll just click from now on. This slide shows a snapshot of the financial statuses of the 3 different questions as of February 28th, 2025. Question 1 has spent just over $53 million. Just over $4 million is committed, and that leaves about $15 million in remaining budget authority available for this question. For question number 2, $45 million has been spent, 6.7 committed, and $7.4 million in remaining budget authority. And then for question number 3, public safety and technology, almost $47 million has been spent, just under $13 million is committed, and about $20 million in remaining budget authority for question number 3. The first bond issuance closed in February of 2021 and used $55 million of voter authorization, which has been fully spent. The second closed in February of 2023 and used $77.8 million of voter authorization. There's a planned issuance of $107 million later this year in May, with about $79 million in future issuance planned in 26-27. This was emphasized in the last meeting, but I'll emphasize it again, that Scottsdale will remain a AAA-rated community as indicated on the bottom left-hand corner of the slide.
Hey, Scott, I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
On the issuance coming up in May, is the opinion of the bankers hired to make these callable bonds for potential refinancing, given the current interest rate environment?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Coughlin, I'll defer to Erica.
Hi, thank you for the question, Vice Chair Coughlin. Yes, normally a tax-exempt bond has a 10-year par call, so we're planning on a competitive sale, which is what we've done historically. And so, yes, these will be callable, and typically we see a 10-year par call on tax-exempt debt.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So I believe with that, that carries me to the end. I'd be happy to entertain any further questions, if there are any.
Any other questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, moving to our final item on the regular agenda, item number 7, presentation and possible discussion on bond issuance 3. And for that, I'll call on Erica Coombs, our finance manager.
Good evening, members of the committee. Appreciate your time this evening, and we're very excited to be looking forward towards our next bond issuance. This is a recap of the project spending thus far. As indicated before, our first bond sale, where we spent around 55 million projects, and then for our 2023 bond issue, we spent around 78 million. This upcoming bond issue, we're targeting a project amount of 107 million. And then the remaining authorization would be around 79 million per projects. This is targeted amounts for each question and project, and a lot of this would relate to presentations you've seen earlier this evening. I will, as Allison had suggested, there is a change in Project 15. So at this point, we are planning to take this project out of this bond issue and increase the funding for Project 63. So the proposed financing amount will remain the same. And this is question 3. These are the estimated amounts. Next steps. So we've been working on the offering document with our municipal advisor, Piper Sandler, our bond counsel, Greenberg Traurig. The city council approved the financing at the last city council meeting on March 18th. We will be looking to have discussions with S&P and Moody's the first week of April. When we have those ratings, which we expect to be AAA, to post the preliminary official statement. As we've done in the past, we'll have a competitive sale. So the week of the 28th, we will pick a day. We'll also be having our MPC bond sale that same day. And we will receive bids on that morning. At that point, numbers would be finalized, and we would know the final par amount, and then we would look towards closing and have funds available that week of May 19th. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Yes, Committee Member Fisher.
Ms. Coombs, so I think I missed something. You said that one project has been canceled and the money's moved to another.
It's just been postponed, and so with the delay in the project timing, we have a timetable when the funds are, when we have the funds. So when we have the 107 million, we have 3 years or less through IRS regulations to spend those funds. So the idea is that we would use those funds for another project as requested by another director within the city. So the total project amount for that question won't change, but we're using the funding to increase the amount for a different project. But that project will be funded in the
So the
future.
project that the money's going to is ready to go, and the other one isn't
Yes.
quite? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that makes
yeah.
sense.
It's a timing. Yep, thank you.
And then just for my clarification, that the money that would be shifted would all stay within that same question?
Yes.
We don't shift it to another question?
That's correct. And we're monitoring that closely on a monthly basis. Yep.
Any other questions? No. All right, thank you, Erica. That's our last agenda item, and inasmuch as this is our first meeting of the new year, I'm going to take a couple minutes to read the public comment verbiage so that we'll have it in the record. And so that's on the second page of the agenda under public comment. Citizens may address the members of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee during public comment. This public comment time is reserved for citizen comments regarding non-agendized items. Arizona state law prohibits the Citizen Bond Oversight Committee from discussing or taking action on any item that is not on the prepared agenda. Citizens may complete one request to speak public comment card per meeting and submit it to the city staff. Public testimony is limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Written comment cards are being accepted for both agendized and non-agendized items and may be submitted to the city staff at any time. Cards submitted after public testimony has begun will be provided to the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee at the conclusion of the testimony for that item. The Citizens Bond Oversight Committee cannot discuss or vote on items not on the agenda, including items brought up as public comments. If action by the committee is needed, the items should be placed on the next meeting's agenda to be consistent with the Arizona Open Meeting Law. And I don't believe we received any comment cards for this meeting. All right, then, I believe that completes our business for the evening, and the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn at this time.
I'll be the first.
Thank you. Member Holland moves to adjourn.
Second.
And we have a second, and so therefore, all in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. I see no nays, and so therefore, the meeting will be adjourned, and I make it 5:35 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.